Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Finally, the Edo Decides is taking serious shape. It looks like there's a lot going on in Edo State, as even the Obidient in Edo State, some group in the Obidient in Edo State are beginning to react. Remember, when it comes to politics, Edo people are very, very literate. They are very literate, they are very exposed, and they will always fight for their own, regardless of whose ox has been God. They have begun already and are beginning to align, and they're sending this message to Peter Obi, regardless of the fact that the Obidient movement is strongest in Edo State. Let's dive into the news proper to find out what they're telling Peter Obi, Labour Party, and who they stand with, even though in the face of so much opposition. But before we go into the newspaper, please subscribe to our channel. Now, according to a group called Obidient United for Equity, Justice and Fairness, has accused Mr. Peter Obi of neglecting the principle he once upheld. Why? Now, Ms. Blessing Edobo, leader of the group, in a statement queried why Olumide Akpata, who is a cousin of Governor Godwin Obaseki and from the same region, be adopted by Peter Obi against the call of the Edo people for justice, equity and fairness. Now, part of the statement reads, and I quote, "All over the world, politics comes with certain incontrovertible demands, and such demands are more strident in democracies. Now, there are calls and demands for competence, capacity, commitment to the common good, credibility and character, and there are those of justice, equity, fairness, and inclusiveness. Even in the recent choice of Tim Walz as vice presidential candidate to Kamala Harris over Josh Shapiro, the fact that Kamala Harris is married to a Jewish American and that Josh, the governor of Pennsylvania, is Jewish was a deciding factor. In Peter Obi's 2022-2023 presidential campaign council, there was the reflection of balance on account of religion and region. Even the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria acknowledges the federal character normative for the reflection of justice, equity, fairness, and inclusiveness in his campaign council. Peter Obi chose someone from the Southwest as campaign DG Doyin Okunkpe, even when he became modeled in some ex-convict controversy and excused himself. Peter Obi did not relevate Esloke Obase, the deputy DG, to DG, but still insisted on another Yoruba man, Dr. Akin Oshuntokun, as his replacement. But for partisanship, such deep values that work for balance means nothing anymore to Peter Obi. What more defines democracy? She asked. When Peter Obi wanted to appoint a lead spokesperson for his campaign, he had better orators and proficient speakers in Kenneth Okonkwo and Dele Farantimi. But he chose Dr. Yenusa Tanko because he wanted a reflection of religion and region. He wanted a sense of balance and inclusion. What he considered right for his campaign, he doesn't consider right for Edo State. What more defines insincerity? Haba. Peter Obi's candidacy was endorsed by the South-South Forum, PANDEF. It was endorsed by Afenifere. It was endorsed by the Middle Belt Forum and by Ohaneze, all on the call for justice, equity, fairness, and inclusion. Peter Obi cannot deny that. Why does he not think that Edo Central deserves equity, justice, and fairness? Why does partisanship or selfish ambition blind him to the call of the Edo people for justice, equity, and fairness? He has been jumping from podiums to platforms in Edo State, spewing and spitting on the same values that made him popular in 2022-2023, which was the call for justice, equity, and fairness. Yes, those were the lead issues that got him huge endorsement. He didn't query the Labour Party when the party allowed the manipulation of the Labour Party primaries by Olumide Akpata and Julius Sabure against the candidates from Edo Central, even when the APC corrected the same error by organizing a fresh primaries to replace the Edo South candidate. they had earlier chosen with a candidate from Edo Central. Peter Obi looked the other way for his personal ambition and comfort. Truth, justice, equity, fairness, inclusiveness can go to blazes. Peter Obi would ask for no fresh primaries to replace a candidate of division and exclusion because his ambition matters more to him than the call for equity, fairness, justice, and inclusion in Edo State. He hid behind the Olumide Akpata as the candidate of my party to mock the same reason he left PDP to the Labour Party. Peter Obi left PDP when it became obvious that Atiku Abubakar was going to win the PDP primaries. And he, along with his supporters in the PDP, thought that it was only fair for power to shift to the south after Buhari's 8 years. How come it doesn't matter to Peter Obi that after 8 years of Godwin Obaseki, Olumide Akpata, his cousin from the same Edo South zone, cannot and should not, for the sake of equity, fairness, and justice, be governor? Is partisanship more important to Peter Obi than justice, equity, and fairness? In Edo, Peter Obi's insincerity has come to the fore. Haba. We must state very clearly that the principles for which we supported Peter Obi in the last election has been consistently betrayed by him. His ambition matters more than the great values we hold here. Every sincere and genuine obedient in Edo State believes that the next Edo governor should come from Edo Central Zone, and not only have we chosen to support Asu Ighodalo, who is by far the best and the most competent candidate in the race. His candidacy guarantees justice, equity, fairness, and inclusion. Citizen Peter Obi has shown this. Now, come September 21st, 2024, go and vote for the ticket that guarantees prosperity for all. Now, this is quite I don't know what to make of this. Why are they involving Peter Obi? The person that emerged happened to be Akpata for Labour Party. Now, very quickly, how would Peter Obi know that Olumide Akpata is the cousin to Obaseki? And Abure, who happened to be from Edo State, should know better. Because, look, let's tell ourselves the truth. Peter Obi may be a national person. Peter Obi may look at the person's pedigree. He may not really know how the central, the whatever works. Peter Obi may know very well how Anambra State works because he's from there. He may have a strong knowledge of how Nigeria works because he's a Nigerian citizen. But he may not understand the central, the north central, and the south central, and south, whatever that works in Edo State. It's left for people in Edo to quickly mention it. And look, it's the turn of the central. Olumide Akpata is still from the same zone that Godwin Obaseki is. And the people of Edo may likely not vote them in. It's normal in all states. Lagos State has theirs. And I'm sure your state, if you're from Nigeria, I'm sure your state also operate on that same principle. Or else, there will not be inclusiveness. We all understand that. And I believe it was actually the place of Abure to have corrected that anomaly. Now, somebody has emerged. Of course, Peter Obi will not say, because for the now, let's tell ourselves the truth, Peter Obi has nothing to gain for the now. His own election, he lost it. He's not the president. This election we're telling you is an obstacle. It's not something that we say, okay, it's the further future election. It's the backlog of the election that Peter Obi lost. So he has really nothing to gain or lose if Akpata enters or not, because after all, he didn't enter. So there's nothing like ambitious gain to Peter Obi here. All of those campaign he was doing, or he is doing for Akpata, from his pockets. Akpata did not pay for it. So come on, cut him some slacks. What you should have brought, this whole thing should have been done long time ago, not calling him out now. Why didn't you call out Akpata and tell Akpata to step down? This is not the turn of the South, it's the turn of the North Central. That's the challenge you have in this country. Well, then again, it's left for Edo people to decide. Let's meet in that comment.